That was like the question. That'd be pretty nutty. Listen. All right. So, let me get out of here. Yeah, perfect. Hey, what's up, y'all? So I'm just looking over. I know we live right now on YouTube and everything, so I just want to make sure that everything is situated and there will be no technical difficulties. Firstly, thank everyone for if you're listening, tuning in, like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that YouTube language stuff. I really want to discuss today the importance of a nonprofit, the expectancies of it, and the truth about it. The truth about opening up a nonprofit, right? Um, and give y'all some things to think about. Firstly, my name is Deshaun Jennings. I'm the founder of Straight Up Employment Services. We are a New Jersey-based nonprofit that believe in bridging the gap between access and opportunities for those that are in need of employment services. We have a trauma-informed approach. We are faith-based, and we derive from lived experience. We believe that people that come from marginalized communities really don't have the access to actually get to the opportunities as others may have. So we look to be that bridge. And that's how I started Straight Up Employment Services. That was my why of going through some things and understanding that what I went through, others can be going through at the same time. So that was my way. This is my way of giving back and actually showing that. So some truths about opening a nonprofit. It is not easy, right? And I hear a lot of people in my day, and I've learned that people will do what others do, and I'll follow trend. Like, oh, they'll say, like, I see you opened up a nonprofit. I want to do the same thing. That's cool. I mean, I'm with that. I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Can I be on your board? That's how I give it up. But in the same, I'm starting to hear it a little bit too much, and it's starting to be like, okay, I don't want you to think that this is a paid situation or you gonna end up getting rich from opening up a nonprofit, because the nonprofit is the exact opposite of you getting rich. You can be successful, but there are accountability methods when you have funding. So understand that. Passion is not enough when it comes to this, right? So although I've started this nonprofit, I've built it for the current 2 years, I've learned that my passion is not enough. The mission matter, right? Bridging the gap between access and opportunities for those that are in need of employment. And by doing that, doing an employmental approach, being able to address those barriers that our clients are facing, and partnering with community organizations to do exactly that, address those barriers. So um, a strong mission statement really matters, because I think that has kept me more grounded, because uh, you know passion is simply not enough, because it requires a sense of business discipline that you must have. You must be willing to educate yourself on certain things to stay in business, to stay in compliance and things of that nature. And I started, when I started, started off as passion, right? It started off as, I can do this. I want to start a nonprofit. I think I can be a vessel in my community. I know people, I know resources. If we all can come together and add this component, then we can do this stuff, yo. But that's all cool, right? Until you launch something and you get a name. Now you have to go get clients. How is your marketing strategies? How are you good with marketing? Then you have to reach out to go on outreach events. Do you have those type of material needed to address the community, right? That's important. You need skills in management, finance, fundraising, compliance, and leadership. This is all needed when we're talking about opening up a nonprofit organizations. Nonprofits are still businesses in a sense. You must handle budgets, cash flows, as well as insurance, HR situations, audits, right? You will be audited if once you start getting funding. There are legal requirements. You have to have a governance board. You have to have filings. You have to file your 990 yearly. There should be bylaws, and there's on-time tasks, right? Poor management, as you know, can sink it. A nonprofit just as fast as a for-profit company. So there are still the same requirements and obligations that are there for a nonprofit than a business. So think about that too. Funding is uncertain. So this is really where I wanted to zone in on in discussing this, because when I started this nonprofit, there's no way I could have started this nonprofit with an imagination, because the logo costs, the website costs, the development of the website costs, the development of the logo costs, staff costs, volunteers costs, outreach materials costs, getting your business, making your nonprofit official costs, going out to get your tax your tax determination. That demands administrative feasibility. Who is doing that work? This demands work. It demands internet. It demands you to have internet. Like, it demands you to have a sense of communication, right? So it is, you have to come in with something. So I started off, this nonprofit started 10 years ago when I didn't think about straight up employment services. It started off with me after college going into group homes, working in group homes as an employment specialist, not employment specialist, but a education specialist. And those roles with employment kind of was simultaneously as our youth may transition from education situations to employment situations, high school, finish high school sometime. So being that liaison between group homes and the schools really gave me the fundamentals of understanding the importance of the need, right? When there's a need in the community, when there's a need in a certain demographic. And I've seen that there was a need to address our youth that was aging out of child welfare, right? Because as they aged out, they always seem to end up in the adult welfare system. So straight up employment services, we look to fill that gap. And that was the main reason why straight up employment service was pretty much established. Because 10 years ago, I started working in group homes. Then I started working with people with disabilities. Then I started working with community members finding employment, public safety spaces, project management. I've done several roles. Also, might I add, working in the city of Newark in nonprofit spaces. I think, honestly, I worked in Newark and nonprofit. When we're talking about violence reduction, I've had the best practice that I can have. Like, I'm from under Newark Raz Baraka's leadership, right? So I've had the best practice to get me here, right? I've developed the best network to get me here. And so that's why I say it started 10 years ago when I wasn't thinking about it. So by the time I went to Starbucks, this started at Starbucks on Route 22 in Union. I was sitting at Starbucks. I'm like, hey, I'm about to start this organization. It was 6:30 p.m. in the 6:30 p.m. in the evening on a Thursday, I believe. And I'm saying I'm about to start this organization. Did the paperwork, did what I had to do, launched it, right? And this would not have gotten this far if I would have stopped there. So I want you to keep that in mind, that everything costs after that. And in order for us to get here, you had to pay the cost, right? So, and we're not funded. So you have to have that level of independence and willingness to actually reallocate your resources, your personal resources, to your community. It's not guaranteed. Funding is not guaranteed. When you go into nonprofits, you be thinking that you're going to get funding. That's not true. You can be a nonprofit that never get funded. That is a fact. That is a fact. Straight up employment services have not been funded, and we may never be funded. Who knows? But that's not going to stop me from doing this work. That's not going to stop me from keeping this growing. If I have to keep working personally to build this is what I would do. I really don't. That's why it sustains, because of that type of passion. Many nonprofits rely on multiple streams, right? And we try to make this so unreliable on multiple streams, where we are doing the work that is profound enough for funding, but it wouldn't stop what we are doing now if we can help, right? It wouldn't stop us helping the community, right? Because we kind of build it in that magnitude. Education is priceless, but it's priced on education. But if the leader knows what to do, that trickles down into the body of the organization. Founders don't usually get paid at first. I'm not paid. See, this is what people be thinking. Oh, he's getting paid now. How am I getting $1 from state of employment? Oh, not gonna pay myself. You know, it's not gonna happen. That's what's not gonna happen. I want you to really understand this, that when we start getting funding, I will pay a grant writer. I will pay probably some people with lived experience from the foster care system or something like that to train them, right? But I will get paid later. Like, you know what I'm saying? I will, when I don't think I want to start changing lives and building a program, because we don't expect a payment. You get what I'm saying? If you are a founder, expect being able to take a check and give it to somebody else. That's it. That's the best way I have to put it. Get funding and say, like, you know what? I'm gonna just hire someone because there's a need there for the community. Be ready for that, because you have to have a heart. And a lot of organizations will trample because of mismanagement of funds. Funders don't. Financial sacrifices is common before stability is reached. You have to show, like, we've been open since 2023, so I think we are on our 3rd year. We haven't been open for 3 years exactly yet, but we are currently on our 3rd year. And what I've known is that we are being watched. We are seeing if we are stable. We are seeing the stability, right? We are seeing us going out in the communities without funding or resources that is being allocated. So that is painting a story. And with the data that we collect from our outreach and our services with our clients, that will tell another story that can assist us with actually gaining some capital soon. And impacts takes time to show. So if impact means funding, you have to have impact to get funding, unless there's a lot of organizations that are part of like collectives. So they are started off, they like, for example, the Brick City Peace Collective. There's organizations that are building there that is part of a collective already. So if you there, you get money, right? But straight up employment services, I would think, right? I don't want to be too exact on that. Don't mark my words, but that's usually how collectives work. So if you have a collective, and you can exist in the ecosystem, and what straight up employment services do, we do exist in that Brick City Peace Collective ecosystem because we are known, right? The founder is from North New Jersey. The founder has worked in nonprofits in North New Jersey, so it's that those connections. But we weren't built into that collective. We were built in the collective scene. And we are looking to move more into the collective as employment services needed. People that look like us are needed in that space, and we need more of us. We need to be in that collective, specifically the Brick City Peace Collective, and we will be working on that in 2026. So impact takes time to show, and change is often slow and hard to measure. So do not think that just because you help someone find a job, you help one person find a job, that's impact. Our impact is not measured on people. And being employed and gaining a job is one bucket of impacts. We can put that, okay, you got employed. But being visible is one impact to the community that you can highlight. Accessibility to your organization is another impact that you can measure, right? Feedback time from referral is another impact that you can measure. Resume development for all your clients is another impact you can measure. Barriers, scaling barriers, and being able to present on those barriers is another impact that you can measure. Interviews is another impact that you can hear, right? So once you employ, we pretty much, that says that, you're discharged. So think about impact in a different way and think about outcomes differently. And you, here at Straight Up Employment Services, we think about our outcomes and a little different. Compliance and transparency are non-negotiables. When you're talking about building a nonprofit organization, I can't tell you how important it is to be transparent when you have a organization that serves the community. That is the most fundamental aspect of that you can give your community, is transparency, is the ability to know what's going on, right? With your organization. That happens to your annual filings, right? Like I said, your 990 has to be filed. Transparencies, we use certain websites you can go on like Candid or something. You can see Straight Up Employment Services, compliance and transparency. Those are non-negotiables. When it comes to building a nonprofit organization, compliance and transparency are non-negotiables. Don't think that you're gonna advance without public trust. Please, 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 please understand that compliance and transparency are non-negotiables. Especially when you're coming from communities such as like my community, North New Jersey. It's non-negotiable. So sometimes collaboration is often better than competition. So remember that. We are not in competition with anyone. No, even in the realm of just being an individual, I don't believe our founder was ever in competition with anyone. I don't think his history, his background, or anything, and what he has told us about his story has no I don't think it's no competition. But collaboration is what is pushed here at Straight Up Employment Services. And we are very, very, very um keen to like collaboration. We really need that. When we address barriers, right? This is why it's important. Like our partners are like us. Like our partners are staff. Like that's straight up important. So if you're a partner, I see you like as one of us. Like you have stake in the company, bro. Because if you are selected, because it goes through a process, we don't just select out. We just don't grab partners. Like if you don't apply, we let it fly type, right? But our partners like North Community Solutions, OVPTR, PFPC, DCF, those are the non-negotiable. Those are family, right? Foster greatness, internal healing. Those are family. You get what I'm saying? And we look at them because they address certain concerns that we need, whether it's from domestic violence in the household. If I have a domestic violence client, I could reach out to Kirby over there with OVPTR with what they're doing over there with domestic violence and get some information. I can reach out to North Community Solutions if I have a client that has a municipal situation and we may can advocate on his behalf, right, or his or her behalf. Or even DCF, those child welfare cases, those families that exist there, right? As we know, financial anxiety stems to state intervention. Go broke. You'll see. Go broke with a family. Things will start spiraling out of control. Not have a job. Let one income go away in a household. And I give it about 6 months, the school's going to be calling or something like that. The school's going to report on something. It's just reality. So employment services exist, and we are prominent. And when it comes to the New Jersey DCF, so when you see us with DCF, like that's family. Like our partners, like not like we selected them, but they selected us too. Like it was a mutual agreement. I see you, you see me. And we know each other, right? So that's why we're partners. And there's no competition. If I have, like even with One Stop Career, if I know I have a client that I can't service effectively, I'm gonna send them to One Stop. I'm gonna send them over to the North Workforce Development Board. I'm the McCarter Highway. I'm reaching out to other counties, Union County, to see if we can get assistance over here at Employment Services, straight up Employment Services. We're unfunded. We're not funded. So our collaborations are important. And so if you're a partner of us, you family. And that's how I look at things. And we're gonna get money together. Meaning like we're gonna get money, we're gonna merge on grants, and we're gonna service our community effective. We're gonna grow together. And I believe that emotional weight comes with the mission. So if you are you're looking to build a nonprofit, you got to know that emotional weight won't come with it. This thing is, I don't think I ever had a moment when I said I want to give up, but I had moments when I said I needed a break. You know, for the first 2 years, well, I just started hiring volunteers. I've been running this organization by myself. I've been doing the administrative work, or putting it all together by myself. You know, when you see people at events or something, those are people I'm asking or I'm paying to like, yo, I need you here because I can't do this like by myself, right? I'm not the person that's engaged with communities. I'm great at outreach, but I know people are better at that. So I look for them. So you have to understand that this takes emotional weight. You have to practice self-care. You have to separate yourself from the organization. Sometimes you have to treat this like a job. We're open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I am available from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. So just understand that emotional weight comes with this territory of building a nonprofit. Do not think that is a walk in the park. Um, and finally, success looks different than for-profit work. We have nothing to sell here. We don't sell anything. If you donate $25 to us, we will give you some straight up employment service bottle. If you donate $50, we'll send you a straight up employment service t-shirt. If you donate $100, we'll send you a t-shirt and a hoodie and the bottle. So we don't sell anything. You donate, we give you for donating. You know, we don't sell nothing. You get what I'm saying? So if you think that you need money and you chasing like money, like instant money, and you want to bag up or something, it's not going to work for a nonprofit. It's not. I don't want you to think that this is it unless you come, unless you got like millions of dollars in funding already that you came with, or you're pretty much set to do this, right? Like my income, just to be transparent, it comes from several streams. It comes from my personal income, what I'm doing with consulting work, what I'm doing with my music. My music really covers a lot of the hardship. My royalties from my music covers hardship, what I get every month. So that's the truth of the matter. If you don't, you got to understand what you have to do this. And you got to be ready for the kickback. If you're in a relationship, you're going to get kicked back. You will be dedicated. This will be your new girl. Like, you get what I'm saying? Technically, because you will have a vision. When you have a vision, you go for the vision. And you have to be ready to sacrifice. You have to be ready to sacrifice your time. You got to be ready to you're going to miss kids' games because you opened up something and said you will serve a community. Now the community is expecting you to be there. So what's going to drive your community, your organization to the mud is whether you're there or not. So remember that nonprofits are really, I hear a lot of people saying, I want to open up a nonprofit and everything. And I see, based on what I was doing. But I want you to know that I don't only have a nonprofit, that I have another company that may be assisting with going through my music that does this, right? So I want y'all to keep that in mind, that you have to, it's not easy, right? To start a nonprofit organization, as it demands your time, it demands a lot of you. And I want to say you have to be a little bit crazy. You have to be a little bit, people have to perceive you as crazy because the vision only sits here in your head. And if you're not explaining it to the world, you can just be looking crazy to the people around you. So eventually it will grow and you will see it into fruition, but it takes time, and it takes time. It takes time. And I'm looking to continue these videos. So share, comment. Let's just have nonprofit discussions. Where my nonprofit leaders at? I need y'all to zone in on these conversations with me. Let's have a conversation. Where's my execs at? Let's talk. Let's inform the people on nonprofit. So thank you all for tuning in, and